Hi, everybody. Welcome to Katie in the Morning. I'm Katie Page, Director of Member Relations at the National Association of Healthcare Assistants. Happy 4th of July. This is my second favorite holiday. There's just something about a bunch of people gathering together to celebrate our independence as a nation and watching the sky light up with fireworks. My 3-year-old, well, soon to be, his birthday's Monday, absolutely loves fireworks. I mean, you'll hear him talk about it 6 months after the 4th of July. I want to go see the fireworks. I want to go see the fireworks. I want to go see the fireworks. One of the things that can burst into our lives just as suddenly as fireworks is influenza. I know it's not technically not the season that influenza is at its highest risk for people to catch it, but I did want to kind of bring a couple tips in for you guys today to help prevent the spread of influenza. It can be life-threatening. Many of us know, working in skilled long-term nursing care, just how damaging that can be to our residents. Influenza can lead to pneumonia, which can, knock our people out, completely out of any ability to care for themselves. So I just want to go through a few tips with you guys today on how to prevent the spread of influenza, whether you have it or whether you're coming in contact with people who do have it. So our first tip for the day is kind of eliminating the myths, the non-truths about influenza. A lot of people think that once they start throwing up and having those loose bowels, that they have the flu. You'll hear call-offs all the time during flu season, I can't get off the toilet, whether it's coming out one end or the other. What really influenza is actually a respiratory infection. It's spread through water droplets, through coughing, sneezing, rubbing the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and then spreading it that way. So that's really one myth. It is what they're referring to when they're talking about the bowels and the emesis is actually a GI virus. Influenza is much more damaging, especially to the younger ones. And this may be an overkill here, but I do want to share a story with you guys about my second son. His name's Levi. He was a preemie. He was born 8 weeks early, so he spent the first part of his life in the NICU in Des Moines, Iowa, in the Mercy Children's Hospital. When he came home, Brock was a little over a year old. Just barely over a year old. They're both July babies. And Levi was home doing good, never on any oxygen, from the time that he was born all the way to the time that we came home. And Brock, when we got home, kind of had that like runny nose, coughing type thing. And 3 days after we got home, Levi got really, really sick, like stopped eating, to the point where I had scheduled a doctor's appointment with him. I took him in and I was sitting there holding him, talking to the nurse about the symptoms that he'd been having. And I looked down and Levi was completely limp. He was not breathing at all. He ended up having influenza type 3. He was life flighted back down to Mercy, stayed in there in the PICU for 3 days. And what had happened is, just like our residents, his immune system was not built up enough to fight that off. So with preemies, with toddlers, it shows up as the runny nose and the cough. But with preemie babies, it literally shuts down their respiratory system. There's no way of coming back from that without hospitalization. So it's an extreme example, but it is an example of what influenza can do to a person. The second myth is, once I'm feeling better, I'm over it. That is not true. You can actually spread different types of influenza up to 3 days after you're showing no signs and symptoms. So I just wanted to eliminate that one as well. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about those tips that can help you prevent the spread of influenza.
CNAs start here at NACACNA.org. If you are a certified nursing assistant, NACA is right here for you.
It's something I totally believe in. I believe every CNA deserves to be part of this organization because it just makes you feel amazing and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
NACA to me is that entity that I think all CNAs need to be involved in. It gives you so much pride and joy to know that you're with an association that cares about you and what you do and what you represent.
I'm a member of NACA because of what it represents, taking care of elders, coming together as a team, and just the encouragement it gives the CNAs.
I feel like NACA is an organization that helps me grow personally in my profession that I would have never known or been able to have done without them.
Your CNA membership with the National Association of Healthcare Assistants is just a few clicks away. For as little as $5.83 per month, your journey begins. The benefits are amazing. NACA provides you with the opportunity and support to be the most educated, recognized, and inspired CNA in America today. We believe that together, every CNA can achieve more than what any of us can accomplish on our own. Take that first step to advance yourself as a professional working with other CNAs who are committed to quality and professionalism. If you need more information, call 417-623-6049.
Welcome back to Katie in the Morning. Today we're talking about influenza and some things that you can do to help prevent the spread of it. We already eliminated the myths and kind of gave an example of what influenza can do to somebody with an impaired immune system. So now we're going to talk about those things that can help you eliminate the spread, or at least reduce the spread of influenza in a contained area. The first thing that you want to do is, if you know somebody has influenza, avoid close contact with them. It's very hard in the industry that we work in because we're hands-on, in your face care all the time. But that's where the PPE comes in. Especially look up for your droplet precautions. The mask, the gloves, the gown, everything that is used in that room needs to stay in that room. While you're sick, limit your contact with others. So send somebody else to the grocery store for you to pick up a list of items that you need. The more places you go, the more likely you are to spread it to other people. So if you're sick and you know you're sick, stay home. Stay home from work. I know it's hard for us, especially as CNAs. We don't exactly get paid what we're worth in gold. I think we all know that. But by going to work, whether we think we're contagious or not, we have the ability to spread that influenza to, not just our residents, but other departments. If you think about it, we're carrying trays, we're carrying out laundry, we're handling people's personal items, hairbrushes, toothbrushes. We have a contact with a lot of people in a very little time. So whether you think that you're contagious or not, if you're showing like the fever and the cough and the sneezing and the runny eyes and the stuffed up ears, just stay home. Explain it to your boss that you think you have influenza. Make sure you get a doctor's appointment again. Get in there as soon as you can to start the proper medication if it's needed. To eliminate the time that you're going to be able to spread that virus. And once again, they do recommend that you stay home for at least 24 hours after you've had your last fever. Fever is really a sign that the body puts out that you are infected with something, that you have the ability to spread it. So that's something that you really, really need to pay attention to. Some other tips for you to use while you're kind of going through your influenza stages. The first thing, and once again, we don't think about this a lot, but almost every facility, every hospital, every assisted living, home health care provides you with a disinfecting, like either a spray or a wipe or aerosol cans. If we've seen those getting sprayed in the hallways for the smell, but it also eliminates that infectious virus that can spread. So clean and disinfect surfaces and objects that may be contaminated with the germs. Avoid touching your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. Cover your nose and your mouth with a tissue when you're coughing or sneezing. And the number one way to prevent the spread of infection is to wash your hands. If there is any question of whether you should wash them or not, just wash them anyways. Like I said, we come in contact with so many people in such a small amount of time that virus can just run rampant. I've seen it over and over and over again in the last 15 years. There was one year where we lost 22 residents in a 3-month period because of the spread of influenza. You'll see like facilities get quarantined and shut down during those periods. If the spread gets too far, you'll see multi-level facilities shut down layer at a time so that the bottom floor can't go to the top floor. They'll have to eat in their rooms downstairs, vice versa, just to try to contain that virus and get it to a point where it's not spreading uncontrollably throughout the facility. You'll see the post signs that say we're not allowing visitors at this time, or please come back, or if you want to visit with your loved one, go ahead and give them a phone call. These are all precautions that the facility takes, but what we're talking about today is precautions that we can take as individuals to help protect our residents, ourselves, our families, and cut down that time that the virus has to spread. I thank you guys all for joining me today. Once again, happy 4th of July, and I will see you right back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. for Katie in the Morning.